Hello, everybody, and welcome to our virtual meeting this year. I'm sure all of you have been used to these at this point since we've been doing lots and lots of Zoom and Google Meet. But we thought in the best interest of keeping everybody safe, we were going to do this via Zoom, and we're recording this so you'll get a chance to look at it at your leisure. We will upload the link here shortly. So the first thing I'm going to do is introduce our teaching staff, and I'm going to try to click present mode here. Share my screen. And if you go to the Marching Tornadoes page, marchingtornadoes.com, maximize this, and I need to move our faces, hold tight. So you'll see contact the director over here. If you click on this, that's going to take us, and you'll see a picture of me without a beard and short hair. We'll skip right past that. All of our contact information is here. Really easy way to get us. Obviously, my name's Chris Ridd. I'm the director at the high school. I also work with the high school jazz band, the Steel Band, and I assist at the middle school. Mr. Carrick, several of you already know, does our elementary and middle school band and the middle school jazz band, and obviously he works here at the high school as well. Cindy Parsons is new to our staff as of last year. She's also at South Elementary, and she's one of our band directors this year. Amy McVicker, a lot of you probably know Amy, and she is our major ed advisor. And last but not least, we have Dave Haverfield, and he is our percussion instructor. All of our contact information is there. If you have questions, email is always best because that's going to come to us at all times. My phone number right here, if you leave a voicemail, that's going to come right to my phone as well. So even if we're at the marching band field and you leave a voicemail, we're going to see that. I might not see it right away because I'm teaching, but every time we take a break, I do check. So that is all of our director contacts. Let me go back to my screen here. And I want to welcome all of you to band this year. Obviously, this is not the normal way that we're here, but I can tell you right now that your students have been doing great. They have been following all of our protocols. Obviously, sometimes a kid will come in and say, I forgot my self-check. We just step them outside and we do that with them. But on the whole, they're doing great. We only have to say the words 6 feet about 20 times a day, which if you work with young people, you know that that's actually a pretty good number. They're doing a great job of staying 6 feet apart, socially distanced at all times. This is a year that it's important for us to communicate well. It's always important to communicate well, but this year above all, we need to be able to communicate efficiently. If I make a major announcement, you're going to see that on the band website. I'm going to go back to my share screen here. And if you see high school announcements, click right here. Let me move all of our faces. And you'll see the last time we updated that was Saturday, August 1st. And right now for high school band, this gray box has a ton of stuff in it. Your students are already used to this because they're doing the self-check form and the link is right there, okay? So you'll see updates there, but if I scroll down, you'll see we have things on instrument cleaning protocol, and of course we have upcoming band activities that'll start to populate a little bit as we move on. That is our number one source of communication. So check that announcements page, especially in marching season because we update it regularly, several times a week. Once marching season is over, we're updating that at least once a week. So that's your one-stop shop. A lot of times people will ask questions on Facebook and people will direct them right here to the website because it's probably already there. As you can see, there is a ton of information on the website. You can learn about all of our different bands. Announcements is very important. Our sponsors, which we'll talk about later, the band calendar. And the band calendar, when you pull that up, actually takes you to our interactive band calendar. It's live. You can see that some things have been canceled this year because of COVID-19, and we mark those whenever they happen. So you can follow along with that in real time, and that's pretty easy to check along. We have some info on fundraisers. We'll talk about some of these later. The forms page is really important. Lots of things on there, and you can see our instrument cleaning protocols as well. As we're talking about the 2020 season, it's really important for us all to remember that flexibility is perhaps the most important thing that we all have to have. I'm not used to things changing. I set my calendar months ago. We published that calendar and we hold to it. But this year is unprecedented. And that just means that sometimes we're going to have to make changes. Things are going to be canceled or going to be moved. Concerts are still a question mark. We don't know what those will look like. Indoor performances, things of that nature. So we just ask that you be flexible. I tell the students this all the time, and I want to remind you as parents as well, that we're all in this together, and sometimes it's best to just maybe not complain right away and just trying to roll with the punches, because that's going to filter down. If you have a positive attitude, your students are also going to have a positive attitude. It's going to help us move on. And remember that all of the people that you're looking at on the screen are volunteers, and they are here to help our band. They're here to help our students in so many different ways. They're also here to help you. So be patient with them as well, because they're doing this out of the kindness of their heart and because they care about our band program. I want to talk a little bit about health and wellness. First of all, I don't know what's going on with the OHSAA safety meeting. I'm not sure that OHSAA knows what's going on with the OHSAA safety meeting at this point, but it's important to know that when we know that, we'll send it along to you. If I had to guess, that's probably going to be something that you'll be able to do in your house. But we don't have a link for that yet. So if you were planning on going to the barbecue tomorrow and catching that, just stand fast on that. Wellness is really important right now. And I told the students this, I'm usually a very stickler with, if you're not dying, you should be at practice. We want you there because you miss important things when you're not there. But it's very important this year. If you're running a fever, you need to stay home. And that just, you fill out that self-check and let us know. We don't want any heroes, because we want to make sure that we're not infecting other people if you happen to be sick. Quarantine is a word that you're going to hear a lot this year, especially as school starts. And I can tell you that we're taking all the protocols that the health department has put in place, and then we reviewed those and we made protocols for our band. And that's what you saw on the website and the students are following now. What I can tell you is that if we follow these protocols to the letter, and I can confirm to the health department that your student didn't spend more than 15 cumulative minutes within 6 feet of another student, then that will prevent quarantines from happening. What I mean by that is, if the Piccolos all got together before practice and had a half-hour party, I'll just use that because I saw Sue in the corner, and she's got a Piccolo daughter. If they get together and they have a Piccolo party and they're there for half an hour, and then one of them tests positive for COVID-19, that means the entire Piccolo section has to be quarantined. But wait, there's more. If one of those Piccolos was hanging out with the clarinets who also happen to get together, you can see how that spiders out very quickly. When I say 15 cumulative minutes, what that means is that could be 3 minutes before practice, 5 minutes during practice, and then 10 minutes after practice. Is that 15? It's close enough. So that means we would have to quarantine. What we are doing in rehearsal right now is maintaining strict social distance. So we are actually more than 6 feet apart because we are band members, and we know 4-step spacing better than 6 foot spacing, and that's 7.5 feet. So we're doing a little bit better than 6 feet. And anytime we know that students have to move in a group, we're controlling the flow of traffic. We're talking to them about still maintaining distance, but when students do get closer together, they're in their masks. And we know that that's going to help. And we're monitoring that time very carefully, that they're not within 6 feet for more than 15 minutes. That's going to allow us to have a season, and that's ultimately what we want. I'm sure you can agree that if we were missing the entire trumpet section, the Dover Marching Tornadoes don't sound like the Dover Marching Tornadoes. That's an interesting experience. So we're doing everything we can to keep us healthy, keep us safe, and ultimately make sure that our band is ready to go. A band in Central Ohio shared a story that they started about 2 weeks before us, and a member tested positive for COVID-19. But because they followed the protocols, they had to quarantine one kid, and that was the kid that tested positive for COVID-19, and not the rest of the band. And they have 225 members. If they can do it, then I know that we can do it. So help us out, fill out that self-check every day, make sure that you're keeping safe, and we're going to be in good shape, okay? At this point, I'm going to mute myself after I'm finished introducing our band booster president, and she's going to go through a couple things for the band boosters, and I'll be back with you at the end. So Kathy, you want to unmute yourself, and I will mute me.
Hello, I'm Kathy Arnold. I'm this year's band booster president, and welcome everybody to your first band booster meeting of this season. I'd like to start out by introducing who our booster officers are for this year. Myself, Trisha Gray, is our vice president. She's also the uniform committee chairperson. Sue Kerr is our secretary this year. Deb Flood is our treasurer. And then our trustees are Michelle Cameron, Dean Barnhart, Regine Heil, and Lisa Fackler. And as Mr. Red has pulled up on the screen there, all of the band boosters have contact email available on the band's website under the band booster link. So welcome. First thing we're going to talk about is meetings. Meetings this year are going to be done a little bit differently than they have been in the past. We did way back at the beginning of this year, we decided to change how the meetings are set up a little bit. The general band booster meetings will be held less often. They are, I believe, quarterly now, and the executive board will be meeting every month. You will see on the band calendar the difference in those, executive versus general. General, everybody and their brother can come, be a part of everything. Voting and things like that will be done at those. And then general day-to-day stuff will be done at executive board meetings. And the minutes for all of those will be published as they have been in the past as well. For now, meetings will be held in an online fashion, and we will decide as things change when we can resume meeting all in person. The next thing we'd like to talk about is volunteering. It's really hard to say what we're going to be able to do as far as volunteering this year. We definitely know some things aren't going to be as pressing of a need, but there will be still some volunteer opportunities for everyone. We may not need as many chaperones this year, but if the band's playing and marching, they're going to need water. So they're going to need help on committees like hydration. We're still having a chicken barbecue. Sue will talk more about that too. And PR committee. If anybody out there is really great with getting the word out or even sharing stuff on social media, please feel free to let us know if you'd like to help with that, because word of mouth is always a great thing. As far as fundraising goes this year, it's going to look a lot different than it has in years past. The students really can't be involved much right now. They cannot go door to door. They can't make deliveries. They can't sell tickets. They really physically can't be involved. So at this moment, we're switching to a lot of online type communications and involving the adults, the band parents community a little bit more. And you'll see we've already put out some things about our mask sale on Facebook and social media. And we're also, Deb Flood will talk more about merchandising opportunities and everything. And you'll see a link on the band website to fundraising opportunities as well. We're also open to new ideas. If you got an idea that's going to work well for this year, please don't hesitate to let any of us know. We're thinking outside the box this year. We've got to be as adaptable as what we're asking our kids to be right now. The concession stands, we don't know. We won't know for a while what that's going to be. As soon as we know, we'll let you know. But if there's anything happening with concession stands this year at all, they'll need help with that as well. Which leads me into communication. As Mr. Red talked about earlier, the standard forms of communication the band has put out there. The band's webpage primarily, remind text, lastly, Facebook posts. Those are the places you want to look for what's going on, and look at them frequently, especially the band's webpage. We're also looking at possibly some kind of online platform as far as to let you guys know what we need help with and volunteer sign up and things like that. So look for something for that to come in the future. And we're really excited to get this year started. I'm so happy to be here with all of you. Thank you all for everything you've done to help your kids share this experience with us this year. I can tell you that everyone on this board and all of our band boosters, we're committed to making this year the best possible year it can be for our kids. It's going to take work. It's not always going to be easy, but we really want to make up and make this the best year that we can make it. So thank you, and for all you and your children have done. So now we'll send it to Deb Flood, the treasurer, to talk about money.
I get the hard, uncomfortable job of talking about money. Nobody likes to talk about money. But I want to go ahead and share some things with you. So Chris, can I share? you get it so I can share?
You're going to have to tell me, hey, can I give you sharing rights?
You should be able to.
Hold on. Just calm down. I don't see that, Debbie. How do I do that?
Okay. Why don't you go, if you go to participants, you should be able to make me a co-host.
Okay, more. I can make you the host.
Well, okay, and then I'll give it back.
Okay. If that works, then I'm going to change the host to you, and we are still recording, so you're good.
Okay. So I want to go ahead and share here with you a little bit of information. You guys see that okay? All right. So basically, I'm going to go through a few things. We did set a budget for this year, and most of the budget is the same, if not less than last year, just to try and get us through. The only thing that had to change is our instrument replacement repair fund changed, just because we need some help with those things. So we did have to adjust that a little bit. So we do have a nice, healthy sized budget. Unfortunately, our fundraising projections don't look quite as nice. With our chicken barbecue, we pretty much said that we hope to at least get half of what we did last year. And so that's the projection we did. And as we talked about situations changing, we have no idea if we're going to be able to do a band preview or not. So just in the sake of making sure that we have everything at the worst case, probably we're hoping is that we go ahead and say that we're not having the band preview, but ideally we will be able to have that. As far as encore concert, we're trying to talk about alternatives to how we have done it before to see if we can still kind of pull that off. So again, we made that number a little bit lower than what it has been, but we still wanted to include that. Pizza kettle corn is usually in the towards the end of the year, but we probably are not going to be able to do the pizza due to the COVID. So what we've decided is we're going to try and put our kettle corn in with the chicken barbecue, and Sue will talk about that here in a little bit. But we obviously lowered that amount by only selling caramel corn. And the laundry detergent, we are, as we talked about, trying to do a little bit more different ways of doing things. And we're going to try and do a little bit of that online, as well as forms on the website to be able to do that, because that is something that people are really still interested in getting. Again, concessions, we don't know that we're going to be able to have that. Dine to donate. Right now, with the status of all these restaurants and most people doing carry out, we didn't want to project that we were going to be able to do any dine to donate. Amazon Smile, I'll talk about here in a minute, but we typically don't do a projection on that. That's just like bonus money. Coffee, we haven't done that for a couple years. And again, this is not the year to pull that back out. Black Friday raffle, ideally we'll be able to pull that off and get some money in. We just don't know, given when we can do concerts and how we can do concerts, whether or not that'll be able to happen. Merchandise sales, this is something that's kind of new for us. We started it last year, so it's really hard to kind of project what we would do this year, because we don't have, we pull these numbers out of what has happened in the past, and we really just don't have those figures to be able to pull that through. So if you were kind of doing some math, you can see that the fundraising numbers are not even close to the budget numbers. Not to totally worry, we do have contingencies that we can use. We just would not want to touch the contingencies. So we want to talk a little bit more about fundraising stuff. We always need help as far as sponsorship goes. If you or your parents or your neighbor or somebody like that has a business that they'd want to sponsor, or you just personally want to sponsor the band, now it's definitely the time to do it. We obviously don't know program advertisement, whether that'll happen, because we don't know about football yet or not, but your name would definitely appear on the website. We may be even able to show off our sponsors in other ways. We're just still trying to develop some of these things, as this is a totally different time. But please, any help would would work for us. Then we talked about merchandise. So as far as merchandise is concerned, last year we did sell the t-shirts, and that went really well, and we're going to go ahead and do those again. We also have the face masks, and then we also last year had the yard signs and the car decals. Now we have moved this to online. Again, as Kathy had said, the students, by rule of the school, are not allowed to be involved in fundraising right now. So we're having to move this to an online platform. So if you do look, this is actually the band's website. If you go under fundraisers and scroll down, you'll actually see the merchandise order form. And you're going to walk through, that's actually step 2. But you're going to put in your information and then go to the next step, and it'll ask you what you want. In t-shirts, you're going to pick how many of what sizes and all that kind of thing. And then yard signs, the example on the page there is the personalized one where you'll do your last name and the kid's graduation date. But then there is just a sponsor of the Dover Tornadoes too. So if grandma and grandpa don't want the name on it, but they want one in their yard, absolutely. And those come with the stakes. Now with this, we are going to ask that you place your orders online, and then you're going to pay when they come in. But what we're going to do is collect orders for like 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks, and then we'll place the orders, and the various things take different times to come in, but we'll notify you because you are giving us your name and email and phone. So we'll be able to notify you when orders are going to be in. Amazon Smile is so easy to do. If you are an Amazon shopper at all you have to do is go into Amazon and designate that you want money to go to the Dover Band Boosters. Then you always shop on smile.amazon.com instead of amazon.com. And then you'll notice on a lot of items that you're purchasing, it'll say that it's good for donations. And then quarterly, they just send us a check. So the pricing is not any different for you. You're just designating that they give back to the band. Something new, and this is kind of so new that we don't even know if we're totally going to be able to pull it off, but I didn't want to miss the chance to bring it up to everybody, is we have applied with Shop with Script. And what that is it allows you to purchase gift cards at face value to use at face value, but we get a rebate back from that gift card that you purchase. And so you're going to go through the website or on an app, and you're going to purchase gift cards and then use those gift cards for your everyday purchases or as gifts. We're going to start off using e-gift cards. So we're not actually doing physical cards. You're going to order e-gift cards, and then you can either print out the gift card before you go somewhere, or you're going to be able to use your phone and scan from there. This is just a sampling of some of the businesses that are available that you'd be able to purchase from. There's over 750 different businesses that have the ability to purchase gift cards. Now we are also going to try and open it up around October, towards the end of the year, to purchase physical cards, so that way you can give them as gifts for Christmas and that type of thing. But we're going to start off, because we don't know when we'll be able to meet and when exchanges can happen. We don't want to worry about the physical cards right now, and we're just going to deal with the e-gift cards. But again, that's an easy way where you're putting in money for something you already purchased, whether it's, you know, something at Lowe's or whether it's something at you're grocery shopping at Walmart. You're purchasing the same amount. It's just we're getting a rebate back from that. So look for more to come on that, because I'm going to, if we get approved for it, which unfortunately they say it takes up to a week. So if we get approved for it, what'll happen is they'll get an enroll. I'll be able to share an enroll code with you, and so we'll be able to see that. So that's pretty much all I have to share about all of that. And if anyone has any questions, feel free to email me. But we're looking forward to a great year, I hope.
Okay, we're going to send it over to Sue Kerr just to talk a little bit about our upcoming chicken barbecue that we typically do at the end of summer. So Sue, if you want to click unmute, looks like you're already there. All right, you're good.
Hi, everybody. As you probably guessed, the chicken barbecue is going to be a little bit different this year. Right now, we're still working with the health department, ironing out a few things that we have to clarify before we go ahead with this. But rest assured, there is going to be a chicken barbecue. It's going to be held this year at the new high school. And that I think is going to free up a lot of space as far as the traffic goes. It's going to give us a lot more room. Like we've talked before, the kids are not going to be bringing home their books of tickets to sell because they're not allowed to do any of that. Everything is going to be online. So check our band webpage on Facebook, of course, the band webpage that Mr. Red just showed us. And the kids will know somewhat about it, but your main information is going to come from those two sites. The date is going to change too. We're looking towards the end of September, probably on a Saturday this year, but rest assured that's all going to be on the website. We aren't going to need as many volunteers this year, but one thing is the kids aren't going to be allowed to help us, so it's going to be all adults. So if anybody already knows that they want to help us, feel free to go on the band webpage, shoot me an email, and I'll get back to you. I won't have any hard-clad data right now, information as far as, okay, you're going to do this or you're going to do that. That'll all be ironed out closer to the date that we choose for the barbecue. So that's about it for the barbecue. Oh, and another thing that we're going to do, since we didn't get to do it with the pizza, is we're going to sell the kettle corn. That'll be involved with the chicken barbecue too, so you'll be able to buy that. Everything is going to be paid at the barbecue, so the kids aren't going to have to be handling the money or anything or turning it into Mr. Red. So everything's going to be paid for the day that you pick up your chicken. Same way with the kettle corn, you'll just buy that there. So stay tuned for more information on that. And thanks for all the help that you're going to be giving us. And go marching Dover Tornadoes.
Okay, so I'm going to throw it over to our uniform chairperson, Trisha Gray, who's also the Band Booster Vice President. She's actually here because, believe it or not, she's working on uniforms tonight in the new band room. So give me a second to get out of the way, and we'll get her here.
Okay, so I'm on.
You're on.
Okay, hi. I'm actually at the band room working on uniforms, trying to get everything ready for the season. The things that I needed to go over with you all is first, welcome freshman parents. If you want to do any kind of helping with us, just let me know. My information's on the band website. And fees we have not set this year. We are waiting until we hear from the school on what they're doing with their pay to participate. So just hold off on that. However, if you did order shoes, those are $35, and we are collecting that on Friday, August 7th at the picture day. So just bring that with you if you ordered shoes. If you haven't ordered shoes and you feel like you need to, I can put in another order, but they won't get here before pictures. So just let me know on picture day and I can put in another order for that. Speaking of pictures, senior moms and dads, but mainly senior moms. This year, every year I tell the children to let me know as soon as their pictures are scheduled. And give me as much advance notice as possible so I can make sure that you have your uniform if you're going to be wearing it, or a just like a test uniform, like one of the extras if you just want it in the pictures. This year more than ever, because of COVID, you're really, really, really going to have to be on top of that. I'm not going to be able to run around at the last minute and make sure that you have a uniform, because I'm going to have to make sure that I have your uniform is clean, and then once you give it back to me, I'm going to have to clean it again. So we're going to have to crack down and be super vigilant. There's like 30, how many seniors? About 30 seniors. So just, we all schedule these pictures. I know I'm senior mom this year and I've already got dates set up. So we all schedule them pretty early. So just as soon as you know, I believe my phone number is still on the website. My phone number is still on the website. So shoot me a text, let me know, or you can get a hold of me through Facebook Messenger. I'm on there daily. So just do that so that I can make sure that your kid has their uniform. And then I just need to know if they need their specific uniform or if they just need a spare to be in the picture. So let me know that. And as far as uniforms go, you're responsible for your hat and your shoes. Make sure you bring clean white socks, tall white socks, for when you march. The uniforms will stay here with us, and we are working out a schedule. I'm still in conversation with the health department to make sure that we are doing everything that we need to do, our due diligence to make sure that the uniforms are indeed going to be taken care of in the way that needs to be taken care of for the season. So like everybody else has said before me, it's going to be a little different this year, but fortunately, uniforms hasn't really seen a whole lot of change. We're still pretty much doing our things. So that's pretty much that. The kids have all been shown how to hang their uniforms up. Section leaders are going to be helping with that. And at uniform pictures on Friday, I will be there along with 3 of my team members, and we will make sure that everybody knows what they're doing and how they're supposed to do it. And we anticipate a great season. So back to you.
Yeah. So I'm just going to add on. Thank you, Tricia. A couple things with uniforms. So we went over this with your students today. But important things about wearing the uniforms for Friday. I'll just try to go from the bottom up. Tall white socks to go with your dinkles. Dinkles is band director speak for fancy marching shoes. You want to wear comfortable shorts that are going to fit underneath your uniform. Most students have athletic shorts this day and age. That's an easy way to go. It just makes putting them on easier. Your undershirt needs to be white, or as I tell the students, it needs to be white. A white undershirt. That way, because it does show up at the collar. If they wear hot pink, it's going to be visible in the picture, and we don't put hot pink with our uniforms. Fingernails, they have to be no nail polish. We just want clear. So if you're somebody who wears that a lot, we're going to have you take it off. When we come to wearing gloves, which we don't do for picture day, but just as a reminder, if they have fingernail polish on, they can never take their gloves off. And they're going to want to take their gloves off. So have them for football games, for performances, make sure that they are, as Mrs. McVicker said today, nude. Nothing on their fingernails there. When it comes to jewelry, we let them know the idea with a uniform is that we look uniform. So no visible jewelry. If they have a piercing that's brand new and it can't be taken out, then they have to cover it with a Band-Aid. And that Band-Aid should match their skin tone so that they fit in. I try to tell them to remember, maybe now is not the time to have that. Hair is really important. It all has to fit within the hat. As you can see, I would not be in uniform right now because I have too much hair and it's all sticking out of my hat. So those that have long hair, like I'm not taking my hat off. Nobody wants to see that. You have to tuck it all up in your hat, and your hair should be above the collar in the back. So if you haven't had a haircut, now might be the time to do that. Otherwise, you just need to tuck it up in your hat. The nice news is that our marching band hats are really quite large, and it's easy to fit all of your hair in there. A lot of ladies will like to do braids and ponytails and all that, and the only thing we tell you is, you can't let your ponytails hang out of the back. They have to be tucked up in the hat. Otherwise, just for picture day, make sure you have that picture packet. Hopefully your students gave that to you yesterday, and if not today, and if you need another copy, let me know so that they're ready to go. Solid Rock has protocols this year. There can be no one in the stadium who's not a director, our uniform team, or the students. So I know you might be super excited to want to come in and see that happen. They're going to ask you to leave, and folks, that's what we have to do. Again, it's a public safety thing at this point. Picture day will start at 7:30. Yes, 7:30 on Friday morning. There's no practice that day. When we're done, we're done. If it's not done, as I tell the students, if it's not done by 10:30 to 11, I'm going to be grumpy. We should be able to get it done in that amount of time. We budgeted an extra hour because of distancing measures. Maybe the students will be awesome. We'll be done at 10, but I suspect it'll be between 10:30 and 11. Okay? So just to wrap things up, again, especially if you're new, you're going to have questions, and that's normal. My email is on the website. That's the easiest way to get to me. I'm going to get it right away. And especially in marching season, I try to turn those around very quickly. The only exception I'll tell you is if you email me between 8 and noon, I'm with your students, and I'm probably not going to reply. Voicemail is fine as well. I'm almost never at my phone, but the voicemail comes right to my cell phone. So I'm going to see that in my email. And again, I'll try to reply as quickly as possible. Your students most of them are members of our Remind group, and that's a great way for them to get information. A couple of freshman parents have joined that, and that's fine too. there's 150 ceiling on that. So we're getting close. We're at about 130 right now. The only way that'll affect anything is if we get to 150, I'll have to ask some people to leave. I have to ask you to leave so we can have our students in there. But that's a quick and easy way for me to send info. If you are a parent and you're on there, you're probably noticing it's not really for you. A lot of times it's like, hey, pay attention to the weather, or hey, we're going to meet an attendance block, things like that. Facebook, a couple of things about Facebook. We use that primarily just to share good stuff. And a lot of times what you'll see is I will link the band website on Facebook, because you're scrolling social media and you see, oh yeah, I should probably go over and look at that. We're not going to put something up on Facebook that's important that's not also on the band website. Facebook is an extra. The band Facebook page, all posts have to be approved by admin. That's Mr. Carrick and myself. If it's not sunshine and roses, I'm just telling you right now that I won't approve it. If you make a comment that's not sunshine and roses, I will tell you that I will delete the comment and I will warn you. And if that happens again, we'll just remove you, because the band Facebook page is for sunshine and roses. It's to share the awesome things our students are doing. If you have a problem, I know some people like to use their social media to vent. That's not what our band Facebook page is for. If you have a problem, you can shoot me an email and I'll get back with you, and we can certainly talk through that. But please don't do that on our band Facebook page. Like I said, that's to celebrate our students. As I like to tell them, that's old people. Old people use Facebook. Some of them do just out of curiosity, but most of them have moved on to other things. So that's, feel free, if you take awesome pictures of our performance, upload those pictures to the band Facebook page. We'll get them approved pretty quickly. And we love to see that stuff. Like I said, it's a great way to celebrate our kids, and to see what they're doing. I do say our kids because I have a freshman in band this year, and it is super hard not to watch him all the time, because I can now totally tell what you as parents are going through. It's just a really neat experience. So I want a season. John Husted, who's our lieutenant governor, put that out. Hashtag I want a season. I know you're all following the news like I am, and you see new posts from the Department of Health, and you see things from OHSAA. What I can tell you is that here in Dover, we are doing everything we can to have a season. When things change, we will pivot. We have plan B and C and D, and we are ready to go with those. So we're going to do what we can to make sure that our students have a great season. And as soon as those things are put out there, we are on top of it and talking to administrators and the athletic director and so on and so forth. So we're working hard to keep continuity, and ask your students if they're working hard. Hopefully they'll tell you, yes, we're keeping them busy out there in the field and starting to make them look good. Yesterday was our first time that we made music as a group since March 12th. And I can tell you it was a really good feeling. Our entire band together playing our fight song. And even after today, they've already started reading halftime music, and they're doing great. So it's absolutely a pleasure to get to work with them. It's going to be a great year no matter what, because we're gonna have a good time together making music. So with that being said, I think we kept it under an hour. So thank you for watching. Questions, shoot us an email. All that stuff's on the band website. And go Tornadoes. It's going to be a great year. Thanks much.